Welcome to Broke Ass to Badass, where heart-led entrepreneurs learn to build the businesses and lives of their dreams with confidence, ease, and joy. This is the anti-hustle movement, and we're your coaches in badassery, Kimi and Pua.
Find out more at bledigital.com, and wherever you're listening to this, be sure to click subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Today's episode is an interview we did with international business coach Reelika Schulte. Reelika is the founder of Design Dream Lifestyle, where she teaches women from around the world how to use their life experiences to launch their own thriving coaching business online. Reelika's work has appeared in publications like Forbes, Shining Mentor magazine, and the Huffington Post. She loves to speak about finding clients through automated marketing, creating signature coaching programs that sell, and building evergreen global coaching businesses. She loves to encourage other women, especially in the online coaching field, and to expand their reach through sales funnels, conversions, lead generation, and passive revenue methods. This is a value-packed episode, and you coaches especially are going to love this one. Reelika gives us her super solid, simple approach to getting those discovery calls, the ones that lead to your dream clients, booked on autopilot. Get your pens and paper out for this one, and be sure to stick around until the end, because Reelika has a free gift for you, especially if you are a woman who is ready to quit their 9-to-5 and launch their online coaching business. Welcome, Reelika, to the podcast. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing good.
Well, we're so excited to talk with you today and really hear how you support coaches in building beautiful, thriving online coaching businesses. We work with a lot of coaches. We're coaches ourselves. And so, of course, this is really a subject near and dear to our hearts. And so we'd love to have you share in your words a little bit about what you do and how you came to this point doing what you do, serving and supporting coaches online.
Yeah, sure. It has been definitely a journey. So, I am a business coach, and I basically teach women globally how to go from an idea to fully launched online coaching business. So we just look at the expertise, do some market research, and create the coaching packages and add some passive income products, and just implement the marketing plan so that they can start attracting their own clients and not to hunt them down. As far as my own journey, so it has been kind of interesting because I was a single mom and I was working full time, and I followed the really traditional path, right? Like your parents always tell you that go to college, get a job, and so be set for life. So I did that, and I ended up working a really long hours in a corporate field. So got my education in business and finance, and I thought I got a dream job, but it really was more like 9 hours a day and not having any freedom, just a couple weeks off per year. And I realized that I don't want to live this way. I really don't want to live this way. So I started looking for opportunities to do something from my own place, from my home. And I came across a course online that taught me how to start blogging online. So I knew nothing about the online world. I was like completely zero. And so I learned about blogging, I learned about SEO and all those technical parts. And I started my personal finance and business blog. And it was good at first, but I realized that really this content creation was really draining for me, especially because I was writing my blog in English, but it wasn't my native language. So, and I realized that even though that I created some courses online that I could sell, those little passive income streams never replaced my full-time job. But I did get people interested in me. So people started reaching out to me and asked me so how do you do that? And how do you start generate the passive income and everything? So that's how I got my first clients in, and I got started with my business. And I realized I need to have a human connection. So I did some research, and I ended up going to different conferences in person in United States, and I learned about coaching field. And my mind was like, oh my gosh, this is for me. So, and from there, I just build up my own business, and now I just use my expertise from corporate field where I'm blogging and just implementing this in my coaching business to help other women to build up the business that they love.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love hearing your energy and your passion and your love for what you do, and really your pride for your journey. And I think it's something that, so we talk a lot about comparison, right? And I think people would perhaps look at your business and listen to you speak and say, oh my gosh, like I wish I was there, because where I am right now is so hard and I can't quite figure out how to find clients, or I'm not making money yet, or this is much harder than everybody makes it seem. And I would love to hear what your advice is for people who are in that place. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like that place where it's not working yet. And you know now that if you just keep going, like you're going to get there and it's going to be amazing. But I think people get really, really, they feel very kind of defeated and hopeless in that place right before they get there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter where you're at in your business, you're always going to feel this way, like little bit, because there's always someone who is, like, how can I say, a little bit more ahead than you, but also there's someone who's a little bit behind you. But I actually want to say that if you're listening to this and if you're in that space, just don't compare yourself with others. That's the biggest mistake to do. And it's a huge mindset shift, actually. You can only compare yourself with your own self, like who you were yesterday, 2 days ago, 2 months ago, or 2 years ago. And if you're looking your own journey, then you really realize like how far you really have come, and acknowledge that you do have the skill set that can benefit others, because you actually just have to be a few steps ahead from your clients. And if you know that if you have a specific skill set that can benefit others, then just you need to put this out there. So don't come from the place of need in terms of like, I need to get a client or I need to make money in your business. So because this will all come together, this will all happen. But if you come from the place of empowerment, that I want to just inspire people, I just want to be out there, people need to know about me because I have so many things to offer to them, then you will start automatically attracting the right tribe to you. So don't get into this comparison mode.
That's great advice. And, I think that especially as coaches, coaches are so heart led, right? And they really come from that place of service. The industry itself, it's people that realize that they can help other people. And so they start out really excited to serve, but arguably one of the most challenging aspects of the business is falling in love as much with the process of creating clients. So most coaches love to coach, but that part of the sharing about what they do, creating clients, going out there and connecting with people, there's often a disconnect. And that part feels sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes really scary. And creating a sustainable coaching business is something that is such an important topic, because when people learn how to do that, then they can stay in the business of serving, because coaches can't coach clients if they don't have clients. And I know that you've come up with some really powerful ways to continue that client flow and to keep that client flow and client lead generation going. Can you share a little bit about how to create that thriving coaching business, especially for those just getting started?
Yeah, actually, it's whether you're just getting started or if you have been maybe like struggling in your business. So it works either way. So actually, my own business works pretty much completely based on evergreen business models. So what that means is all I really need to worry about is driving the traffic to my lead magnet, which is my free webinar. And this will keep running like on autopilot, so 24/7. So the reason for that, because obviously I can't host a webinar like day in and day out. So, and nowadays systems really allow this to run like 24/7. So anybody who's signing up can watch that on their own space. So this is a free content that kind of tells them about like, about my story, about what I do, and like, how I help everything. And so same thing for you if you're looking to get, let's say, your clients in. So if you have a really good webinar where you talk about your own journey so that you can build a know, like, and trust factor, and you're talking about like, how you really help your clients and what are some of the important pieces in your coaching, then at the end of the webinar, you can invite people to book a call with you. So what really happens is if you have those systems in place, you can literally start booking the discovery calls on autopilot, and you just have to worry about the traffic. So, and you can drive the traffic with Facebook ads, or if you're just getting started, you can still, let's say, even organically, if you have a link to your webinar, maybe like on your personal Facebook page or on your business page, in your Facebook group, or anywhere in social media, so that anybody who wants to check you out, that they would sign up for your freebie, for your masterclass, and they can get so much value from you. And they, at the end of this webinar, the right people who stick around, they know you, they like you, they trust you, and they want to talk to you because they want to know more. And that's how you can really start booking this discovery calls pretty much on autopilot and have them like showing up in your calendar in and day out.
Awesome. That is, I love that you said that, because I think webinar to discovery call is becoming more and more common, but there's definitely like, I think when people do that and they try it and it doesn't work right away, they kind of, they ditch it too fast, right? And so to hear that you've created this process and you've really coached your clients to make this work, I think that repeated messaging for people to hear is really important. So thank you. I love that.
Yeah.
And we actually ourselves tried it, and we haven't used it in a while. And so you're inspiring us to dig it up and bring it back.
Yeah, and if it's not working, so by the way, it's not going to work the first time. Just like with anything in a business, it's not going to work the first time. You have to test and tweak until you nail that. But it only takes you maybe like one good webinar to drive this traffic and to really start, let's say, like, that the message has to be on point. And really what I recommend doing is, maybe if you have a webinar running, or if you're doing your first webinar and if it's not working, like, look at all those pieces. Like, look at your conversion rates of your landing page. How many people visit your landing page versus how many people really sign up for that? If this is too low, let's say like under 30%, so chances are that you need to tweak your landing page. Maybe you need to tweak the headline, or maybe their targeting is wrong. And then you're going to see also that if your webinar is running, depending what software that you're using, but you should be able to see even from the back end of your, maybe even like recording, where do people drop off? And if you have a huge drop off, maybe like in the first 10 minutes, you can re-record that. Maybe you can just kind of tweak your message. Maybe you talk about too much about yourself, then maybe you can dive right into the content, so that there are always things that you can tweak. So, or maybe people are clicking on your calendar, but you don't have availability. So just piece it out like that and see where is the gap, and just fill this gap, and until you nail that. And just, by the way, anybody who has done these webinars or like that, it takes several times to redo that until you can really get to the right point.
Wow, that's
what's the
so great. No, I'm thinking about our own webinar, of course, and like that's such great advice to break it up like that. Go ahead, Pua.
What do you think the sweet spot is for the length of the webinar? Like 30 minutes, such a good 45? Question.
Yeah, so I would say testing first of all, but I would say maybe like 40 minutes, because if it's too long, then you're definitely gonna lose some people on that webinar. It's just because it's not that your content is not good, but people are busy. So, and not everyone maybe has like, an hour to sit around and just to take notes. But I do say that if you do have maybe like a 50 minutes or 60 minutes, no more than 60 minutes, then you end up getting a really great people, because these people actually did take this time to sit around, to stick with you, and to watch everything to get till the end, because typically the call to action is at the end. So yeah.
That's so great. Yeah, it's so important to have people. It's a really great way for people to get to know you. So we'd love to hear you share. I'm sure a lot of the coaches listening are here thinking about what kind of webinar content they can put together. So you spoke to, the webinar having value. What would you recommend in terms of how to fill that webinar with content that's going to really help people to know, like, and trust you, and really convert to qualified leads?
Yeah, so I would say that you want to start out telling people like who this is for, so that really in the first few minutes, just state really clearly who this is for. Is it for coaches, or what type of coaches, and also what they're going to get out of this training. So really outline the outcome of this training, and then you want to tell your story a little bit. And I recommend, let's say, as far as the main content, the biggest mistake that I see that people make is just coming out with a random content. The easiest way to go and the best way to do that is look at your actual program that you want to sell. Like if you have maybe like a one-on-one coaching program or a group program that you're looking to sell, what is the program that you're looking to sell? And then pull this content from your program itself. So if you have, for example, like, I don't know, maybe you have like a 4-month program. So maybe like you probably have some modules in your coaching program or some sort of a topics that you cover. So you don't have to bring out everything to a webinar, but pull out some major topics that you can cover. Because I like to kind of say that, it's kind of like going to the grocery store, right? Where you get those sample food, right? So maybe you can get when you go to a grocery store and you get like a white chocolate, for example, and now you love it and you want to purchase that. But if they give you now maybe like a peanut butter or something else, right? It's a completely different thing. So it's the same thing. Your webinar is like a sample of your work. So the more it kind of connects and aligns with your actual program, the better it will convert. And you will just, let's say, you can just main content, kind of piece it into the steps, maybe like 4 or 5 steps. So it's really easy for people to follow. And at the end of this webinar, you give them a clear call to action. If you love to know more, just, sign up for the free discovery call, and we can talk about that. So, and that's how simple this really is. Nothing complicated.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing so much with us and with our audience. This is so valuable. And I hope people are listening and inspired to give this a try, because it really does work. And I love that you shared that it takes a little bit of adjusting, a little bit of tweaking. Okay. So switching gears a little bit, I would love to hear, so earlier in the interview, you mentioned something about creating small kind of residual income streams or kind of smaller offerings. And I think this is something I would love for you to share what your thoughts are on this, because this is something that I think a lot of coaches and people who are doing online businesses forget about. When we have these kind of bigger high ticket offerings and services, it can be so kind of feast or famine, right? Because you're trying to get people to book calls with you, and then every call you're like, oh gosh, this is so perfect for this person, and they for some reason they didn't want to move forward with it, and we end up getting very attached to the outcome of these calls, when I feel like that energy isn't always the best thing to bring to these calls. And what can relieve us of that are some of these lower ticket residual income streams. So what are your thoughts on creating those, and what do you recommend to your clients in terms of what to create?
Yeah, so I do like those lower end programs too, especially when it comes to any sort of like a self-study programs, because this is like an easy way to get your message out there. So sometimes people like to purchase something lower end first before they come and sign up for your one-on-one or your group program or your mastermind. So I would say that if you have some value to add, so why not to put it out there? So, and you can can do maybe like a video trainings, audio trainings, workbooks, and this can actually serve your business for years to come. It's a little bit harder at the beginning if you don't have a really good email list yet, because you do need to have some sort of like a following in order to really make some good income from there. However, like everyone has started from somewhere. So if you have some good ideas, why not to package those together as your passive income and just put it out there? And one thing, when you make the sales with that, you do want to add some urgency. Like, for example, like doors are closing at this time, or by that time the price is going to increase, because you do need to give people the reason to sign up instantly.
Love it. So cool. Yeah. So, you mentioned also earlier that you really have a special place in your heart working with women to avoid burnout. And can you share with the women listening to this, what is it about being a woman that can in particular lead to perhaps burnout, especially for mothers, perhaps? Share with us a little bit about what it means to be a thriving business woman doing this work in the online space.
Sure. I feel like the biggest thing is to let go this perfectionism. So that done is always better than perfect. And because I feel like we women, we tend to be so much stuck at first in this analysis paralysis mode. But the sooner you can kind of like take off this consumer hat and put on like this lady boss hat or this entrepreneurial hat and really, use your skills to help others, the sooner you can get your business up and running. So I feel like the other piece is finding the balance in your life. So if you're working from home, one of the biggest things that you want to do is that even though that you're working from home, get dressed in the morning, don't be in pajamas all day long. Put on your makeup if you're wearing a makeup, right? So put on a perfume if you like perfumes, and just like, do your hair, and that you would feel good about yourself. So because if you just like, we all have those days. I mean, don't get me wrong, that you want to wear these pajamas all day. But I feel like if you want to have a really good energy around you and you want people to take you seriously, then, show up for yourself as well. And you will be completely different person, and you will start attracting those right clients to you as well.
Awesome. I love the way that you say attracting the right clients rather than getting clients or finding clients or converting clients. I would love for you to share a little bit about what that process is for you, not only, just like the physical funnel process or whatever that is, but energetically a little bit more. You shared a little bit just now, but if you could go a little deeper in what that means for you and your clients.
Yeah, so I feel like for me, definitely coaching is a two-way street, and it's really personal. That, as you said, the energy is so important. So if somebody is not in a right mindset, is not looking to help other people, because coaching really is like serving others, is stepping up in a bigger way to serve others in the world. So if this person is not having this right energy about wanting to do this great work in this world, so I don't care how big, like, how many credit cards you have or whatever. So it really doesn't help you build a business. And it's really the personal work that we do with our clients, right? Every single coach, like even when you're listening to this, that you do this personal work with your clients, then you have to have a really good connection. So, and that's something that you can, discover on a discovery call too, right? How is this person's energy? Is this matching with yours? And this can come down to whether you're sometimes like this extrovert, introvert, or just maybe like the mindset that if you are ready to actually change something about your life or about your business. So for me, that's always like important to feel it as a person that yes, this person is ready and this person sounds like a good fit. Because if this person is not a good fit energetically, nothing good can come from there.
Wow. This has been so value packed. Thank you much. Thank you so much for everything you've shared with us. So, we're kind of coming to the end of our interview, but we'd love to have you share. Of course, we want to know where we can watch your webinar, certainly. And we'd love to see, how you do your work in the world. And I think people will be really interested in getting to know you better through your webinar, and also where people can find out more about you.
Sure. So you can actually find it on my website if you go to designdreamlifestyle.com. So there you can see my webinar, and you can learn more about what I do and how I like to do things in a coaching field.
Great. And we'll be sure to include that in the show notes as well. Did you have any final thoughts for our audience, for the coaches listening to this?
Yeah, so I want to tell everyone who's listening to this, just be confident in your skills and just be confident in yourself that you have so much to give to this world, and don't give up. Just keep going. You're doing coaching for a reason, or you're building your business for a reason. So show up for yourself and show up for your clients.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Reelika. This has been wonderful. We're so excited to be connected with you. And as I said, we'll be sure to include everything in the show notes, and we look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you so much for having me.
We hope you enjoyed this episode with Reelika. Be sure to take a screenshot. If you're listening to this, take a screenshot on your smartphone and tag Reelika at Reelika Schulte on Instagram, and tag us at Brogats to Badass. Let us know that you're listening to this episode and that you enjoyed it. And we can continue the conversation, as always, in our tribe on Facebook. You can go to bledigital.com/tribe. Check it out. And be sure also to head on over to designdreamlifestyle.com. You can watch Reelika's free masterclass there and get a really great idea of this entire process that she's talking about. So we hope you enjoyed this one. We will see you in the tribe, and we'll be back with another episode soon.